All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. We just watched the High Potential show on ABC, and now we're just going to talk about it. So it just ended. You probably saw me got a little emotional at the end. So, like I mentioned, the little side story is her oldest daughter, Ava's father, basically went out to buy diapers when she was an infant 15 years ago and never came back. So, Eva's 15 now. She's like, Mom, just admit it, accept it. He ran out on us. But Morgan doesn't believe that. She's like, no, your dad loved you. He wouldn't do that to you. Something must have happened. He must have vanished, disappeared. She never found out what happened to him. And of course, this is 15 years later. So Ava is kind of, over it. She's kind of angry that her dad left her, but is over it. Morgan still wants to know what happened because she loved Roman. Roman loved his little girl. So basically, that was her. That was kind of her deal. Hey, I'll consult for you for the police department. I'll help you on murder cases. You need to open up a missing report for Roman, my ex, because I know he wouldn't have walked out on us. I mean, I know people do that. I know people get overwhelmed. They say they're going to go out and they never come back. He didn't do that. So the lieutenant just gave her a little bit of tidbit information at the end of the show. Basically, they found or researched and found that Roman's car was found. It's in a police impound lot 3 days after he disappeared. What they found in the car was a pack of diapers. So the lieutenant was like, so that makes me believe if he was going to run out on his family, why buy the diapers first? You know what I mean? Because he left to buy diapers. If he left to buy diapers and never came back, or he was going to run out, he wouldn't have bought the diapers. So the lieutenant's like, that makes me believe why buy the diapers if you were going to leave. So, and it was found, it was abandoned in a Costco parking lot, which was very close to where they lived. So now, you know what I mean? The question is, did something happen to him? Morgan was kind of relieved because she's thought this the whole time, but nobody's been able to really look into it. She obviously wants to find out what happened to Roman. Now, Eva, the daughter, was sitting in a chair and she actually heard this conversation. What broke my heart was she was crying because, she just believed her dad ran out on her and didn't care for her. And now she's hearing, maybe something did happen to him. He left to buy me diapers and he bought the diapers. And then a couple miles from his house was a Costco and, that's where his car was found. So that's really going to be interesting. That's a really good side background story for her. And so it's a little touching because, hopefully they can have some closure. Maybe he's still alive 15 years later. Probably not. He was probably, vanished, disappeared, kidnapped, whatever. But it's good to have that closure because when you're always wondering, it's hard to move on. So even though Ava is 15 and she's a teenager, she still has that, like, my dad didn't want me and my dad left me when I was a baby. So, I mean, it's good for her to have closure. Obviously, it's good for Morgan because she really believes that he didn't walk out on her. So I think it's good for both of them. So that's nice that we kind of got a little bit of information on that backstory. Now, the show itself was about the death of a tap dancer, which I was very happy to see that Damien pulled through. He was pushed off a roof. He was on life support, and he wakes up at the end, and it looks like he's pulling through. So that's good. And then they found out that he attempted to kill the wrong person. He didn't have it out for Damon. He had it out for the other gentleman, Roland. So I like that we were able to kind of see, we were able to see who the victim was at the very beginning of the show actually pulled through in the end. It's just really sad when you see people try to put their life together and it's like, you made a decision to get out of this life or this decision. I mean, he was the driver for 3 jewelry heists, and then he decided, I don't want to do this anymore. And he got killed for it, basically. You know, he was like, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to be a part of it. So it's always heartbreaking to see that when people try to turn their life around and it's like they get sucked back into it, or they get killed, or a bystander in something. So I'm definitely glad Damon was able to pull through, because that was hard to watch. And you know, they said he would have to learn to walk again, but in the end he was like, I can feel my toes, which meant a lot because he was a tap dancer, so he wants to make sure he can feel his toes, that he can still dance again. So I like that there was a little bit of promise there. It's just sad when your friend basically turns on you, so to speak. I mean, you know, he had that fear, like, look, we were robbing jewelry stores together. You stopped driving me. Now I'm having to rob jewelry stores while I take the bus. But he just, you know, he didn't believe that Roland was going to keep a secret, or he might turn him in. And in the, you know, and in the midst of trying to, you know, to kill him, he actually pushed Damon instead. And, you know, he had nothing to do with it. And he almost died. Now he has to learn to walk again. Hopefully, as we saw in the end, you know, that he'll be able to do that and get on Broadway. I mean, from the little bit of the videos that we saw, he is incredibly talented. I know it's just a show, but that was some nice footwork. I would love to watch him tap dance. He was really good. So I love the lieutenant. She's a great actress. She's been in a lot of different things. So I love her take on it. I love the older detective who does the jewelry hypes. Like, what, you're gonna let a cleaning lady mess up my board? And the lieutenant was like, no, she is more. She is not just a cleaning lady. So that, I like that, because the lieutenant has a different perspective on her now. She's not just the cleaning lady, which I never think you should degrade any job or any person. So I love that. No, she's not a cleaning lady. She's more, and everybody is more, right? You know, we treat everybody with respect, because everybody in the end is doing the same thing. We're working to get a paycheck to survive for our family. So, you know, I really love that, because, you know, don't look down on people, because we're all trying to do the same thing. We all have a family. We all have bills. We all have to eat. We all have to pay rent. So I really kind of like that they're looking at her differently. She, you know, and I like the way when she came to the crime scene, or I guess it wasn't a crime scene at the time, since Damien was unconscious, but the police, the lady with the police was like, I thought you were my cleaning lady. I thought you were a cleaning lady. And she was like, not today. We'll see how today goes. Maybe tomorrow. So Morgan I like that mindset. Like, hey, you know, I'm doing something different today. We're going to see how that goes. But, I really like the way Morgan solves cases. I said this earlier. I love that she, you know, has kids. She's a single mom. Now she's still in talks, or should I say she's in a good relationship with the father of her son and her youngest, Chloe, because he was over there babysitting while she could go and do this. So it looks like she has a little bit of support. There was an older gentleman named Henry in the first episode that helped with the babysitting. So I don't know what relation they have, but he was a really nice, I don't know if he was a father-in-law or if he was just a friend or a neighbor, but he was helping with the kids too. But I think it comes down to, we're all struggling. We, you know, a lot of us have children. If you don't have children, you still got your own bills to pay. You still got, you know, you still got to eat. You still got to make rent. So I like that aspect of it, because that's human nature. That's who we are. And I thought it was a great episode. I love the way she figures things out. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode. I really hope this becomes a long series. And I love the way they, you know, built that backstory in from the get-go, from episode 1, and then here in episode 2 they're letting you believe, okay, he didn't just leave his family and walk off to be a deadbeat dad. Like, something happened and we need to figure out what that is. So I'm very excited to see where it goes. Looking forward to the next episode. It looks like it's going to be in 2 weeks. So we're not going to have an episode next week. So definitely come back. If you enjoy listening to conversation, definitely, send me your comments, like and subscribe, and we will see what the next episode holds. It was so much fun. Talk to you later. Bye.